All right. It is the Illini Basketball Podcast, episode 143, January 30th, 2023. Really did some speed mixing there on that introduction. Kind of subtle pauses and then speeding up the way that I'm talking really fast. And then, Illinois coming off of a win, right? It kind of, I don't know if ownership is the right word, but kind of ho-hum after Wisconsin owned Illinois for a long time, and it's kind of flipped completely on its head here.
Yeah, third win in Madison, I believe, 6 in a row against Wisconsin. So Illinois, after I think they lost, I can't remember, under Gross. So nice to see him back. This game was an offensive, masterpiece in the first half. So
brilliant.
20-16 at half. Wisconsin, after Illinois went up 12, got up 1, and then Illinois went on 22-4 run, or Matthew Meyer went on a 22-4 run. So, of course, Matthew Meyer, player of the game, our Pog. I didn't even ask you because I knew.
Obviously, yeah.
If he scores over 10, you're picking him. So, Matthew Meyer, 33 minutes, 9 for 19, 5 for 11 from 3, 3 for 4 from the line. The only one he missed was when he got fouled on that 3. 26 points, which is a career high for him. 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, and 0 turnovers. We don't have the mullet, but we have a mustache and a headband now. So Matthew Meyer likes keeping it fresh. He was asked about the headband, and apparently he found it on the floor in the locker room. So he said it wasn't stinky. So I guess that's good. It's just really good to see Meyer back. He had a couple off games, and it just seems like when he's in the zone, he is on a different level. And Underwood said of him that, quote, he showed who the best player on the court was tonight. Matt can really get going, and we just kept feeding the horse there in the second half. Apparently, Meyer is the type of person that tells you that he is ready to go and to get him the ball. There were multiple interviews with players that said, yeah, Matt just kind of says, give me the ball. Underwood said, quote, he lets you know when Matt's going. We have seen it in practice. He is scary. Some of the runs he's been on. We're trying to do it in a variety of ways, not just with the 3. He's an exceptional ball handler at 6'9". He's got a way around the post, and he's a crafty offensive rebounder. He only had 1 offensive rebound in this game, but it was a big one. When Illinois was kind of struggling, Meyer got a big one, and then who got the other one?
Shannon?
Oh, Shannon, yeah. Terrence Shannon Jr. got a big one. So Meyer was asked about the Blues. I'm repping the Blues because Illinois broke the superstition.
You got bottom of my
underneath
Blues.
Blue. He said that he's not very superstitious, so it really doesn't matter to him, which is weird because he said he's been trying to change up his hair and all this other stuff to play better. So,
well, these jerseys suck, plain and simple. I don't really care if they won or lost. These jerseys look like shit.
Yeah.
Horrific, I think, is how I would describe
them.
You'd
rather always see the oranges.
I think these jerseys would look better if they would incorporate some white, whether it was making the number white or the letters white. I think that would make these look a little bit like the all navy with the orange. It just looks dumb. And I wish that they had a navy jersey that was better, but I don't really think that that's going to happen ever.
Yeah, I think they'd have to completely rebrand to get a different one, right?
Well, they should rebrand the home white and the orange and white are not good.
Yeah.
The only good jerseys they have are the Script and the Fighting Illini classic orange. So that says a lot about it's all. I'm also very most of the jerseys that I love are the Script or the classic. So like Purdue's jerseys yesterday, so maybe I'm just in my own bubble here. I don't know. These jerseys suck. Let me just say this about Meyer. I I did not know that he could score in this many ways. I think the only way that you're not going to see him score is probably a mid-range jumper. I'm sure he could do it. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
Or under the rim a lot. He's been one of the best finishers in the last month for them at the rim. Like Shannon has been up and down in terms of finishing at the rim. Danger's been pretty money at it, but Meyer's been really good at it.
Yeah, and I think the difference between him and Shannon is his ball handling, like Brad talks about. He takes care of it when he goes to the lane, where Shannon kind of gets out of control sometimes. He got called for a couple charges in this game.
I also think that that teams are certainly not going to try to stop Meyer underneath or get into the rim as much as they're going to try to slow Shannon down.
Right.
Doing that, I'm sure the game plan is never.
Well,
that.
And Myers is more of a methodical entry into the post, where Shannon's is just kind of go as hard as you can. So
middle linebacker, yeah.
Yeah. ACG says he wishes that we wore the white scripts more.
Totally agree.
We would all agree with that. Ty Rogers' career game incoming.
Played well last time against this opponent, so why not this time?
Yeah. Coleman Hawkins, 34 minutes, 1 of 3 from the field. His only make was a fadeaway with the shot clock running down. 0 for 2 from 3, 3 for 6 from the line, 5
Those
points.
Free throws were
bad.
I don't know how they didn't go in. 2 of them should have gone
in. 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 0 turnovers. I was not impressed with his game. Apparently, I was the only one not impressed.
I think you're totally overblowing the defense on Wall thing, because like how many times did Wall score on him? Twice, I think. And also he wasn't matched up against him that many times, and Wall is going to score against anybody. So
three times in a row he scored on him.
I mean, he's going to score on anybody. I think you allow that.
Okay.
I don't think he was that bad. Believe me, if I thought he was terrible, I would be the first one to say it.
Yeah.
I don't think he was that bad. And also when the offense was terrible, I wish they would have given him the ball more to try to kickstart something.
Sure.
But
I mean, thinking back about the game, I guess I wasn't that upset. Like I said, the defense against Wall was frustrating to me. Just because it seemed like Wall did it so easily against the best defender in the league, according to players and coaches. So that's the only thing that was frustrating to me. His help defense when Meyer fell down was nice. Got the block there. I thought when Wisconsin had 2 bigs in the paint and he decided to help Danger was a terrible defensive play, because he left his guy wide open for a drop off. But I mean 9 rebounds, I'm not going to complain with. 0 turnovers, super happy about that. So sorry, it's just me and Hawkins.
You're a hater, yeah. He also got hooked by Wall. I mean, we need to talk about how stupid that was. Horrific. And also, in terms of maybe not closing out in certain spots for almost anybody on this team, I don't think I'm going to blame them for not closing out on Carter Gilmore, who hit 1-3 and came into the game 4 for 14, not a 3-point shooter, 1 for 13 last season.
Yeah.
So there was some instances where they didn't close out, and that was a guy that I don't really blame them for not closing out on, because really Wisconsin has 3 shooters that are threats from 3.
Yeah.
Klesmit, Esijan, Hepburn, maybe Crowell.
And to that point, Hawkins got switched onto Klesmit and left him wide open. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, he was fine. I just, there's some spots where I wish that Coleman Hawkins would play better. Underwood said after the Wisconsin huddle, or after the Wisconsin run when they took the lead, he said, quote, "Coleman was electric in that huddle. Coleman was a soothing voice. I'm asking him what he likes. What do you feel? What do you like? What action? I ask him that all the time. We need movement. What do you like?" Coleman was elite in those moments. Okay. Now he is leading our team.
Let me just say this. I don't think the words soothing and electric go together. I don't think that those words coincide.
But elite does, because that's
Yeah,
the only
but
word he knows how to use.
electric in that huddle, he was a soothing. Does Brad not know what electric means? I think he's hearing the kids say it too much, and he just electric would be RJ Melendez's drive to the rim dunk. That would be electric.
That's true.
Soothing would be Dane Danger left hand from 10 feet for some reason. That would be a nice soothing bucket.
That was a nice soothing bucket.
I mean, come on.
That was insane that he went up left-handed there.
That was a show off, is what that was.
ACG says the hook on Coleman reminded me of the Mizzou game where the guy took Kofi's hand and hit himself with it, drawing the flagrant. Yeah. Meyer was asked about Coleman after the game, and Matthew said there is a reason why he's on so many mock drafts. He's a very respected player across the conference. He does so many things that don't show up on the stat sheet, and I think he is one of the best defenders in the league. It's great having him. I fell on one of them, and Coleman came and blocked the shot at the rim for me, or it would have been a layup. He's always cleaning up mistakes for me and the other guys. So
sure,
the guys love him. I mean, he should get 9 rebounds in his sleep. He's 6'10", crying out loud.
Well, I mean, Danger had 8, Meyer had 6,
yeah,
RJ had 4. You never know what's
I don't know. That's why I'm ranting a little bit. Okay?
I think you're a hater. I don't know. I mean, I'm a hater too, but I'm not in this game.
That's right.
I mean, he did have 4 offensive rebounds in the last game.
Just let me be mad for a little bit, all right?
I
took away my anger a little bit.
He only took 3 shots.
There's just
spots. Turnovers.
There's just spots
but it's college basketball. There's spots for everybody.
That's true, but I'm gonna look at the guy that's picked 32 to go in the draft. Okay,
it's more like 39. But okay.
Jaden Epps, 32 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover. Again, controlling the game as the point guard.
Probably the number 2 candidate for player of the game, I would say.
Yeah, I would have put him up there. I love the 3 he made. I saw somebody post on Twitter, and I'm going to knock on Coleman again because somebody said, great drive in a dish from Coleman Hawkins. Coleman Hawkins took 2 dribbles, didn't even get to the free throw line, and kicked it to Epps. So I mean, come on, guys. Come on.
Terrific.
Epps, anyways, he's the guy when the shot clock's under 10, he's the guy I want to have the ball. Because every time he got the ball under 10, it seemed like he got to the basket, where like Matthew Meyer had a possession where it was under 10 and he threw up a 1-footed 3. Coleman has to take a fadeaway 15-footer. It just seems like when there's under 10 and there's nothing doing, I'd rather have Epps have the ball than anybody else on the team right now.
They haven't had anybody like that since Io, probably.
Yeah. I would say ACG says Jaden Epps driving to the rim and finishing his poetry. Correct. Lunkers thinks that Nebraska is a must win. I would say so. I mean, it's Nebraska.
It's not a must win. It's a don't lose.
You can't lose.
Yeah, can't lose.
Yeah. He did struggle in the second half against Hepburn a little bit. Hepburn got some spacing, knocked down some threes, but no points for Hepburn in the first half. Hepburn ended up with 15. He made that 3 at the end of the game to, instead of it being 61-48, it's 61-51. I did see somebody say that this is better for Illinois because in the net, because if Wisconsin moves like 3 more down the net, it's not a quad 1 win.
Doesn't matter.
So yeah, I'm just saying. Apparently,
people are stupid.
I mean, really. I'm not the one that created the net.
The net sucks.
Yeah. Underwood on Epps said Jaden Epps was spectacular. That young man is not playing like a freshman. He just keeps leading us and finding ways to make it to the basket, increase the paint, and spray it.
Quite possibly the most overused cliche in college sports.
He's not playing like a freshman.
Yep. They said about literally every freshman that's good.
That's true.
Come on. Talent is talent. Coaching is coaching.
Yeah.
And he could score in a lot of different ways. And I think he's only going to get better as a passer playmaker as the years go on, as he's a 4-year, 3-time All-American in Illinois. Maybe 2-time.
Yeah, and Underwood was asked about, what's made him better over the time there so far. And he said his pace and his poise and 2-foot jump stopping in the lane. And when that comes more consistent, he's going to score a lot of points in an Illinois jersey. So, Dane Danger, 32 minutes, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers. He had 8 in the first half, and I think he got 1 paint touch in the second half. So I don't know what that's all about, but it is what it is. It was nice to see him when he got doubled or triple teamed that he passed it out because Dane's been known to. I think Dane even said something like, when I want the ball, I'm getting the ball and I'm going to shoot. So Underwood said, big shout out to Dane Danger. He was terrific in the first half and kept us in the game. Matthew Meyer said on him, quote, we just know we can always rely on him. When we get him the ball in the right spots, he can go either way. This isn't a shot at him. He's extremely aggressive scoring-wise, not necessarily kicking it out. So we know we should start crashing. It's good offense for us because he is extremely efficient, and me and Coleman just try to crash for the rebounds.
He's selfish.
But I thought, I even text you, I thought he had a great pass out to Epps. It was actually a bounce pass from
He just tossed it
30 feet away. So,
tossed it 10 feet to the right of him. Just go get it.
Yeah, but he had a couple nice moves, dunks, the lefty from the free throw. Maybe you should start shooting free throws left-handed. You think that'll help?
Maybe.
Terrence Shannon Jr., 24 minutes, 2 of 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 turnovers. Ouch. He was limited due to fouls. 2 of his turnovers were charges. The second one definitely wasn't a charge. Terrible call by the refs.
Terrible.
And I looked it up. This was the most turnovers he's had since the Virginia game. So he had 4 in the Indiana game. He just, I don't know. The guys can get, seems like they can get to him when he goes to the lane. They can pop it out a little bit easier. So I do like him only taking 1 3. He gets in these zones where he takes a few step back threes that you don't like. So I think I even talked about it last game that I'd like less from him. So he apparently listens to the podcast and took my advice. So.
Certainly the most air balls in the country this year, I would say.
It's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. RJ Melendez, 26 minutes, 1 for 6, 0 for 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Really the only thing about RJ that, stuck out was the dunk. What kind of stuck out to me was the back-to-back missed wide open threes. He's now 18 for 72 on the year, shooting 25%. He hasn't made more than 2 threes in a game. So I don't know. Brad said that he still loves RJ's shots. He said the dunk shows his athleticism and his length. The job he is doing on defense is elite. Do we just want RJ to just try to drive every time instead of
keep shooting?
Keep shooting.
Whatever.
All right.
Literally just had 80 feet of space on the first. I think it was maybe the first or the second one he took. Just not even.
The thing is, I feel like he's a better shooter when he's contested. You know what I mean? Because I think at least 3 of them were wide open. I can't remember the 4th one. First one of the game was wide open. Then he had the back-to-back ones. They were both wide open. So
at least he's not afraid to shoot, I guess, huh?
Yeah, he's got to keep getting them up. So I don't know. It has to be mental right now, I think. So hopefully he'll get it back. Ty Rodgers, 9 minutes, 0 for 2 from the line, 1 rebound. His minutes were when Sincere and Epps were struggling on Chucky. Seemed like they sent Ty Rodgers out there to try to guard him. He did fine. He did come in to play the point guard once, but then I think Shannon ended up being the point guard. So, Brad Underwood's offense doesn't need a point guard, but Ty was fine for his minutes. His free throws are still brutal, but it is what it is. Sincere, 9 minutes, 0 for 1, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. I decided to look it up because it seems like he played 7 last game, 9 this game, and since he lost his starting job, Brad, always says, I don't care who starts. It doesn't matter to me. But he started his first game start was against Bethune-Cookman, and over those games where he started, he averaged 16 and a half minutes. And the last 2, he's averaging 8. So I don't know why that is. I assume because Jay Neps is playing so good. Sincere just seems like the guy that's going to take Epps' spot when he needs some rest right now. So, which is, I think, fine. I'm okay with it.
Yep.
You all right?
No, I'm just,
Oh, input today. Okay. Other notes and quotes. This is going to be a quick one.
Ty Rogers and Sincere Harris are going to play more tomorrow. So, something to think about.
You think?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's Nebraska?
I mean,
What if it's a close game?
This isn't a game that's going to require you to play 30-plus for 4 or 5 guys. And RJ's not going to play 26 in this game because Shannon's not going to be in foul trouble.
So what do you think? You think RJ's going to play 40? Because I think
RJ's going to play
40 and take like 20 shots.
RJ's going to play 21, obviously.
Okay.
Sincere's going to play 12. Ty Rogers is going to play 15.
Okay.
Danger's going to play like 12, and it's going to be really annoying.
Because he's going to get in foul trouble?
Either that or they're just going to try to go small or something. I don't know.
Gotcha.
They're going to play more.
All right. Other notes and quotes. 22-4 scoring run. I was right. 22-4 scoring run. After Wisconsin came back and got up 1. They won the rebounding battle 37-31. 11 turnovers. Of course, 2 of those were I got to answer this.
TSJ charges is what 2 of those were. Like we said earlier, the second one, horrific call. And I think it's all obvious at this point that college basketball refs just don't know what's a charge, what's not a charge. I mean, Malik Hall from Michigan State in the Purdue-Michigan State game yesterday just got called for a horrific one in the second half. A really, really bad one. But, I mean, what can you expect? I think you got to go into every game now knowing or thinking that the refs are just going to not be that good. And I think that's just something you got to live with right now, especially in the Big Ten. I mean, this referee crew that they had for this game was Larry Sherrato, Brooks Wells, Brandon Cruz. Not a good crew. Maybe one of the worst crews in the Big Ten when it comes to overall ranking because Larry S. is 35th. This Brooks Wells fellow is 72nd. This Brandon Cruz fellow is 134th. So it has to be one of the worst crews in the Big Ten. So it can't be surprising that they would screw up some calls as such.
Yeah. The refs in the Big Ten are great.
Yep. Really good.
They held Wisconsin to 18% shooting in the first half, which is, I don't know if that's more Illinois' defense or Wisconsin's bad shooting. Felt like Wisconsin could have stayed in this game. They missed some pretty wide open threes after they hit 3 in a row. So you take what you get. Illinois 6 of 20 from 3 for 30%. I'm okay with 23, especially when Matthew Myers taking 11 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And 11 for 18 from the line. Brutal.
Yeah, well, you had Dane 1 for 2, Ty 0 for 2, Hawkins 3 for 6, but like two of those 3 misses were in and out.
Yeah.
Meyer 3 for 4 missed his first, and then Shannon and Epps 2 for 2, very nice. Ho-hum 2 for 2. The free throw thing is kind of like turnover thing and it's kind of like 3-point thing where most of your misses or turnovers or 3-point misses or attempts are from one guy or two guys. So in this case, I would say Rodgers and Hawkins are missing 5 of the 7 free throws, and then Shannon 6 of 11 turnovers, Meyer 11 of 23 attempts. Is that his most threes attempted in the? It's got to be up there.
I think that it is.
It is, yeah. He attempted 8 against Nebraska and Missouri.
And did he make 5 another game too?
Texas, he was 5 for 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That'll work, yeah.
Yeah. Underwood's post game. He started with very, very tough to play or place to come in and win. I thought our defense was outstanding. You don't do that against a Wisconsin team very often. He said
Wisconsin's offensive efficiency is 125th in the country, by the way.
Yeah, they're not very, very great offensive. And getting Tyler Wall in foul trouble early. I think he played 6 minutes in the first half. He got in foul trouble in the second half. It seemed like, Underwood was trying to attack him. I think he said that the first play of the second half was to attack Tyler Wall. I believe that it ended up being a broken play because Terrence Shannon Jr. drove to the basket on that one, but whatever. He said, quote, "You go on the road and win. You're not going to expect the ball to go in. We've tried to build an identity of our whole program based on the night that they don't go in. And how do you win in this league? Holding them to 8% was a start. Withstanding the home team runs and energy is a major league growth for us."
Well, I don't think there's any argument that Illinois has probably been the best Big Ten team on the road in the last 3 or 4 years. So
yeah,
I think maybe more coaches should try to do what Brad's doing on the road. Maybe.
Yeah. And you had to like that, the team bounced back after Wisconsin went on that run. They didn't hang their heads. They, apparently Coleman, was soothing and energetic at the same time. Electric. Yeah. So Brad was asked about the progressions over the last few weeks, and he said, quote, "Came a long way. We were in close games, UCLA, Virginia, and even the Texas game. You have to be able to execute. I'm not saying we weren't tough. We didn't execute at that time. You go back to Penn State, and we unraveled offensively
and defensively.
We have grown a lot. Practice helped. Extensive practice over Christmas break. We still have room to grow, and we can grow to get where we want to go." So
that was like the end of a Dr. Seuss book.
It was. BM Eddie says, "I love this team, but we miss a bunch of layups." They missed a bunch of layups against Indiana. This game wasn't so bad, was it?
That's just not something that I care about because it's not that big of a deal on a grand stage. Top 25, the top 25 players in the country, according to evanmaya.com, which is according to the Bayesian performance rating. BPR measures a player's overall impact on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Illinois has one player on this list. Would you like to guess who it is?
Coleman Hawkins.
Not even close.
How can it not even be close? They play on Illinois.
Whatever, yeah. It's actually very close. Yeah, it's very close. Same position, pretty much, same size. Meyer is 17th in the country, which this, measures a player's overall impact on the offensive defensive side of the ball. So notable, Edie's number 1. Other notable names in the Big Ten, Chris Murray, 21. I think that's the only other Big Ten one. Or Jalen Pickett, 22, which that feels low. So Meyer, according to this, is the second best player in the Big Ten.
Wow.
But that's
right behind Edie, huh?
Edie 1, Meyer 17.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of NBA prospects in there. A lot of guys are like, they're not going to do anything in the NBA. So,
yeah.
Very interesting. You have literally the 14th best player in the country is 5'9" point guard, Zakai Ziegler, who's terrific, but Jesus. All right. I just saw that on Twitter, so I figured I'd bring it up.
And we can go ahead and say it. Me and Ethan were both wrong. Thanks for proving us wrong, Illinois. We thought you'd get beat. So,
well, I was just expecting them to lose because it's hard to beat a team twice in a year. I didn't know if they would be able to slow down Hepburn and Wall. Obviously, the refs kind of helped by giving Wall at least one really ticky-tack foul.
Yeah.
Out of the
But he
four.
also should have been called for the hook and hold. So
yeah. And he did make a three, which is surprising. He's not the biggest three-point shooter in the world. But
he took a couple of them too. But he was wide open. So, Coleman Hawkins.
I wouldn't close out on a 26% three-point shooter either.
Is that why RJ's open all the time?
Yeah, that's exactly why. All right. Illinois back at it tomorrow night against Nebraska. Illinois comes in 15-6, 6-4 in the Big Ten. They are third in votes in the top 25. Outside the top 25, Missouri is first, Charleston second, Illinois third. There's only two teams in the poll right now, which is an Indiana team that barely beat a dead Minnesota team and an Indiana team that did exactly what they were supposed to do, which is beat up a bad Ohio State team at home. So I guess that's worthy of being in there, whatever. I mean, you look at every other ranking or other people's – like Goodman has Illinois 3 or 4 spots ahead of Indiana, so whatever. The AP poll is full of a bunch of loser mainstream posers. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Illinois 6-4 in the Big Ten. They are tied with Rutgers and Indiana at 6-4. Northwestern is 6-3, but obviously they're going to get smoked by Iowa on tomorrow as well. On tomorrow. Nebraska 10-12 overall, 3-8 in the Big Ten. Not the best of teams. This will be the second game against them. Illinois won the first one, 76-50 at Nebraska. So already beat them on their home floor. They're 3-8 in the Big Ten, like I said. This game's Big Ten Network, 6:00 tomorrow night. They've lost 3 straight since they somehow – well, I don't even know if it's somehow anymore. They beat Ohio State. They've lost 3 straight since then. Juwan Gary, who's an Alabama transfer, we saw him go down against Illinois with the shoulder. He's been out since that game. And then Emmanuel Bandumel is out for the season. He played against Illinois, but he's now out for the year. Their last 3 losses have come with a point differential of -45 to Penn State, Northwestern, and Maryland. So they've gotten killed their last 3 games. And I think they may be the only team in the Big Ten that's worse at the free throw line than Illinois. They are 349th. Illinois is 324th. I didn't even bother looking at the other teams.
I think Minnesota is the worst in the country.
You might be right. So I didn't even bother because I figured it was so bad.
Yeah,
Minnesota is the worst. Yeah. So they're the third. Illinois is the third worst.
Yeah.
Assuming that nobody else, like Minnesota, is legitimately 363 out of 363. Wow, that is
real bad.
That's a tough one there. Is there even like in terms of high major teams, the only team close to them is Mississippi State. That's that bad at the free throw line. And Mississippi State is 355th. So that is kind of close. But anyway, they're not good at the line. The Nebraska projected lineup, you got Sam Griesel, 6'7" point guard, 12 points, 4 of 11 in the field, 4 of 9 from the free throw line against Illinois in that first matchup. He was pretty much non-existent other than the free throw line going there a bunch. So I don't think Illinois should have any problem containing him. Apparently the greatest shooter of all time, if you ask Brad Underwood, Keisei Tominaga, the guard who's starting now, 6'2", had 22 points against Northwestern. I think he only made a couple threes in that game, though. So
how long has he been starting?
Probably since Bandumel went out, I assume. Okay. Let me look. I will give this a look.
He had 3 points against Maryland. Brad today called him elite. If I know you guys are shocked by that.
He started the last 4 games.
Okay.
If Illinois can't completely shut him down as a 6'2" guard who can really only shoot threes and sometimes score on there, if they can't shut him down, then like what are we even doing?
Right.
This should be a player that they just completely dominate on the defensive end. Jamarcus Lawrence, not to be confused with Cowboys defensive lineman DeMarcus Lawrence, 6'3" freshman, 123 offensive rating, 119 offensive rating last 2 games on Ken Palms. That's not bad. So, efficient, doing his job, maybe not scoring a lot, but making the right plays. They got Denham Dawson, who's a forward, 6'6". He fouls a lot. He's had multiple 4-foul games in his stat sheet this year. This is a small lineup with their second tallest player being their point guard. So they have Derek Walker, 6'9", 17 turnovers in his last 4 games.
Oh, wow.
And 16 points, 8 rebounds against Maryland. So we'll get to see hopefully him versus Danger. I know last time there was foul trouble for him. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I don't see any reason why Dane can't have a good game on both ends in this matchup.
Yeah, if they get him the ball.
We got Nebraska without 2 rotation players. You got to think they're not going to be very deep. So if anybody gets in foul trouble for them, they're in trouble, I would assume. I don't know where Wilcher's at. I guess maybe he's just not starting now. And they also do have Wilhelm Breidenbach, who is not to be truffled with. Hopefully Coleman can get a little revenge on him since he took Coleman to school in that last game. His season high was against Illinois, or his second most points this season was against Illinois. Wilhelm Breidenbach. 11 points against Illinois, 13 against Kansas State. So his 2 best performances of the year were against Kansas State, who's going to be like a 2 or 3 seed, and Illinois. Weird. But he scored 3 points in their last game against Maryland. So, we'll see if he does anything. Probably not. Ken Palm, Illinois offensive efficiency 53rd, Nebraska 189. Defensive efficiency, Illinois 18th, Nebraska 56th. Adjusted tempo, Illinois 77th, Nebraska 257. And overall, Illinois 23rd, Nebraska 99th.
What'd their defense go up from last game? They were in the 20s, right? Or not?
I want to say that they were like
I got it. Hold on.
23rd or something.
22nd. Okay.
22nd, yeah.
4. All right.
I assume their offense probably dropped.
Because their defense was elite against
Wisconsin. What was their offense at last game?
I don't know. I already closed it.
Jesus.
But I'll look. I'm looking. Don't yell at me. Offense was 51.
Nope. Offense only dropped 2 spots. Not bad.
Tempo was 71.
It's to 77 now since that last game was a slog.
75, I mean.
Obviously. All right, players to watch.
I'm going to go with Terrence Shannon Jr. He had 25 points against Nebraska last game. Did that mostly through getting to the lane. He was 10 of 17 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. So took 7 threes against Nebraska last time. Again, I'd like to see him slow down on those. I think that he's probably going to want to get this game after the foul trouble and not doing much. So I'm looking for Terrence Shannon to have another big game. And then I went with Sam Griesel, however you say his name, because I think that I went with him last time and Illinois shut him down. So let's shut him down again.
Will he get a flop call on him in this game, you think?
No.
No? Okay.
Is there a flop? Do they have that anymore?
It's usually just a technical, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, RJ got one, but he's flopped like 6 times this year. So 1 out of 6.
Did Meyer flop on that and 1-3?
I think that he got fouled and then went into him. I don't think that it would have knocked him down normally. So I would say it was
a veteran savvy play.
I would say yes, but he got hit on the arm.
Yeah.
The landing really didn't. The guy was in his area, but he wasn't that much in his area. So kind of like Patrick Mahomes going out of bounds yesterday.
My player of the game, my player to watch is RJ Melendez.
Yeah.
He will make at least 2 threes in this game, folks.
He needs to make 3. He hasn't made 3 all year. We need 3 from him.
I thought he made 3 against Nebraska the first time.
Negative.
He did something.
He what did he do?
He was 2 for 6 from 3 against Nebraska last time. That was probably his best game of the year. 10 points.
I think he probably got player of the game.
His best game of the year was probably Syracuse, where he had 15 points, but 7 of them were at the free throw line.
I'm pretty sure we gave him player of the game against Nebraska.
We were really just trying to be nice, though. Shannon had to be one of our players of the game for that game.
I don't know.
Shannon and Hawkins or Shannon and Epps. Epps was literally 5 for 6.
Oh, never mind.
I was going to say, it would have been trying to be nice.
I gave it to Epps. You gave it to Shannon.
Yeah. All right.
RJ got 1 player of the game this year, at least.
Lindenwood.
We need to do a tally.
No, Lindenwood would have been Sky Clark. I did a couple years ago. I did that. Derek Walker's my player for Nebraska because I believe I picked him last time, and hopefully Illinois shuts him down.
Yeah.
I thought about going Dane Danger, Derek Walker again, but I didn't. All right, predictions. I mean, you're just showing no respect to Fred Hoiberg.
Illinois beat him by 26 last time. I think Illinois has at least 4 players, if not 5, in double figures this game. Illinois is going to beat the snot out of Nebraska back in the farm, 83-57, all Illini.
I think I have an addiction to picking games way closer than they should be. So I'm just going to go Illinois 75-65, but I also want a 75-55 record game on my record. So
okay,
10 or 20.
That's something.
And if you want to throw like 78-52 on there, you can as well. Three scores right there for you. But I don't think this is a game that we should be nervous about late. Like when there's 10 minutes left in the second half, I don't think that we should have to be on the edge of our seats.
I hope not, but you never know.
That is true. You never know, Especially in a conference like this, they say, it's all about how hard it is in the Big Ten. Life is so hard in the Big Ten. Anyway.
Life is hard, but not only on the road, though.
Yeah. Which don't tell that to Illinois if they're playing Indiana or Penn State. All right, around the Big Ten.
Are we doing a watch party?
I mean, we can. I don't know. I did.
It's a 6:00 game on a Tuesday. So
I said that I would do the mustache for the watch party. I contacted the person that tossed that out there. I said, would you rather I do it for this episode or for the next watch party? So the next watch party is when the mustache is going to return. I don't know. In terms of the schedule, I don't really think that we would have any other options other than this one for like the immediate.
Yeah, I mean, might as well get one.
I'll just put it this way. I would rather do this game on a Tuesday than next Tuesday's game.
Okay.
Because Minnesota, seriously? Is that a joke or no? And Iowa, we just don't do Iowa games because those can just get out of control no matter who's playing for either team.
That's true.
And after that, I wouldn't hate doing a Rutgers one on a Saturday or a Penn State and a Tuesday revenge game. Definitely can't do Indiana. Definitely can't do Northwestern. Could do Ohio State again, but they'll be dead by then. Michigan will be dead by then. And then Purdue, I mean, we did it last year and it was annoying. So,
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, if we can do Purdue last game of the season, especially if Purdue's going to be, number one in the nation.
If Purdue's 18-1 going into that game and Illinois is like 12-7, then yeah.
For sure.
But maybe we try to, depending on what's what in terms of the Big Ten tournament, maybe we do one of those for a change.
Yeah. We'll
see.
That would work.
We're already setting records, though, in terms of watch parties. So I guess we'll put one on the docket for tomorrow, I guess. And if anything comes up, then we'll let everybody know, I guess. We're going to have thousands of people in there. So
that's right.
All right. Just some Big Ten stats I've come across here just to go over here before we get out of here. The Big Ten on KenPom, I kind of have a green and a yellow and a red zone for the Big Ten and the teams in the Big Ten. I would say the red zone right now would be Michigan 68, Wisconsin 70, Nebraska's 99th, as I said earlier, and Minnesota's 191. So those are the teams that are in trouble from a metrics perspective, and Wisconsin and Michigan can't make the tournament with these metrics and losses in resume. The yellow zone, which is teams that are probably going to make the tournament, but their metrics could hold them back. Ohio State 27th, they are not an example of that. I'd rather just put them in the red. They have good metrics because of their offense, but their record is horrific. So that's a problem. Maryland 32nd, that's good for them. Iowa 35th. Penn State 40th. Penn State, bubble team, I would say. And a lot of people don't have them in right now, but I don't know if I agree with that. They have some interesting games on their resume, whether it's winning at Illinois or losing to Northwestern, losing to Michigan State, I think, losing to Michigan, beating Michigan, but they did lose to Michigan earlier. Northwestern 43rd, Michigan State 44th. In the green zone, Purdue is 4th overall in the country, Rutgers 18th, Indiana 19th, Illinois 23rd. So that is every team in the Big Ten right now until tomorrow, because I don't know if Nebraska wins, they'll stay in the top 100, but if they lose, they're probably going to drop out. So every team except for Minnesota in the top 100 on KenPom, which is a good thing. You don't want to have too many bottom feeders. Bart Torvik, which is another metric site, and this one you can kind of measure game to game, week to week. So the last 2 weeks of games for Big Ten teams, in the last 2 weeks, Purdue has the 3rd ranked defensive efficiency in the country. Indiana has the 9th ranked offensive efficiency in the country. Iowa has the 7th ranked offensive efficiency in the country. Northwestern has the 11th ranked offensive efficiency. So then you go to Illinois, who in the last 2 weeks has the 145th ranked offense and the 24th ranked defense, which is not surprising. I think a game like the Wisconsin game would have tanked their metrics a little bit.
Yeah. That is.
And Ohio State, they didn't exactly light it up from a scoring perspective. So when was the last time they scored 70 plus?
I don't know.
Let me look.
It's been a hot minute. Brats, what's going on, man? Illini will be 15-5 in conference, and I am still in it with my preseason guess. Well, that's better than my 17-3. So
I don't even know what I had. 13-7, I think I had. I'm probably gonna be right on the money.
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna be right on the money. And they're gonna finish 3rd, like I said. How about that, everybody? All right. Big Ten games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Other than the Illinois game, you got Indiana at Maryland. You got Northwestern at Iowa, Penn State at Purdue, Minnesota at Rutgers, Wisconsin at Ohio State, Michigan at Northwestern. So I say a team like Northwestern, who's in sole possession of 2nd place right now, is probably going to start to slip because I think their schedule is going to get a little bit harder from here on out. But they have done what they've needed to do to this point.
Yeah. I think their schedule's tough, but it's not like,
at Iowa.
Yeah.
Michigan. Home against Michigan, at Wisconsin, at Ohio State, home against Purdue, home against Indiana, home against Iowa, at Illinois, at Maryland, Penn State at home, and Rutgers on the road. So, like, Iowa, I think they lose that game. Michigan, I think they lose that game because I think Michigan's going to be desperate. Wisconsin, they could very well lose that game. Ohio State, they could lose. Purdue, they'll lose. Indiana, they'll lose. Home against Iowa, they could win that. They'll lose it on the road at Illinois and at Maryland. Penn State, I think they'll probably win that, and they'll lose at Rutgers. So that right there puts them like what, 8-12, 9-13. I mean, this team sucks, folks. 9-11, by the way. This team's a bunch of frauds, and you're going to learn that soon. Like, wow, they've been so impressive in the Big Ten. They beat Michigan State. Fine, that's a fine win on the road, but it was Michigan State without Malik Hall. Michigan State hadn't really found themselves yet early December. They were just coming off of some big non-conference wins. They beat Illinois when Illinois was lost. They beat Indiana when Indiana was lost. They beat Wisconsin, who's been scuffling, and we're just working Wall back into the rotation.
That'll work.
And they beat Nebraska and Minnesota. So, like, Northwestern's resume is not good at all. So I don't know why we're pretending like it is. Everyone's making this big buzz about, Northwestern. This team lost by 29 to Pitt. Like, what? Hello? I mean, what are we doing? Oh, yeah, I'm so impressed that Northwestern beat DePaul by 28. God, that is so impressive. Give me a break. They played like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've played 5 road games the entire season out of 20 to this point. So, I mean, what do we right? How many's Illinois played? Illinois probably only played 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Look for a prediction if I can't find it.
Illinois only played 5 road games out of 21, but Illinois also has a good resume, so shut up. KenPom.
13-7. You were right. 13-7.
Nailed it. KenPom National Player of the Year standings. Edie Runaway, not even close, number 1. TJJ, number 3. And Jalen Pickett, number 4. Okay. Almost out of here. Thank God.
Almost out of here.
Quick bracketology check. The Big Ten. I just found Jerry Palm, CBS, and I was like, okay, whatever. Good presentation, and we'll see. I don't think he's the most accurate, but recently updated, so that was a big plus as well. Right now, the Big Ten would have 8 teams in the field with a couple on the outside looking in. Purdue would be a 1 seed in the South, according to this. Indiana would be a 5 seed in the East. They would play Charleston. Illinois would be a 5 seed in the West. They would play Oral Roberts, who is a one-man team. Rutgers would be a 7 in the East. They would play Nevada. Michigan State would be a 7 in the Midwest. They would play Creighton. Creighton would 100% win that game. Northwestern, an 8 in the West. This is all you need to know about the resume. Second place in the Big Ten, 8 seed. Good job, guys.
Rough.
Boise State would be their opponent right now. Iowa would be a 10 in the West against San Diego State, and then Maryland a 10 in the South. Here's Duke. That's as a 7. And then Wisconsin and Penn State, first 4 out, which I don't know. Wisconsin's metrics are so bad, and the resume is not that great. I don't think they should be on the same playing field with Penn State in terms of resume and evaluation. Like, I know there may be some ugly losses on the resume, but at some point, Wisconsin, like 4 and 6 in the Big Ten, metrics that aren't good. The resume, they do have some good non-conference wins, which is probably the only reason they're in the first 4 out, but
it just seems like teams that have been like losing, they're not falling anywhere. Like the net still has Ohio State in the top 30, doesn't it?
Which is just, insane.
UConn's won 2 of the last 8, and they're still ranked in the AP poll.
Yeah, Wisconsin's lost 6 of 7, and their 1 win was very close against Penn State.
Yeah.
But I guess from a resume perspective, they do have a better resume than Penn State. And Penn State is 5-5 in the Big Ten, so it's really not like, they should be automatically in. But I do think that they're a much better team than Wisconsin, even though they lost to them on the road. But I don't know.
So I was looking at the preseason predictions. You have Illinois 13-7, projected as a 5 seed.
That's just right on the money.
But also, you have them losing 4 of the next 10. So
it's all right.
12-8 is more
close enough, huh?
So at Iowa, at Penn State, at Indiana, and at Purdue. But I think Purdue's at home, right?
No, it's at Purdue.
Oh man! All right. Well, never mind then. So, I think they beat Penn State though.
I do too. Yeah, but like Wisconsin beat Marquette and USC and Dayton in the non-conference. Those are probably saviors for them. And really, they don't have any bad losses per se. Wake Forest is not a great one, but I don't know.
Embrat says somebody has got to beat Purdue. It has almost happened so many times. I just don't know who can do it.
I'm almost okay with them just going 19-1. I don't even care.
Yeah, me too.
At Indiana, though, that's probably the next shot that they lose.
Yeah,
that'll be an electric game Saturday, or it might be a soothing game. We don't even know.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
All right.
What
else we got here? Anything?
No.
Better throw in the countdown.
Yeah, 2023 Countdown to March Madness #1 podcast, Monday, February 6th.
Coming in hot next Monday. Listen to Ethan talk about all the college teams and me just kind of say a few things about the Big Ten. You guys will enjoy that.
Yep. What is this, year 4? Year 3? Year 3 or 4 of doing it?
It's got to be 3 because we started
4.
that after.
I thought we
did
did
it before we started the Illini podcast.
Yeah, that's a good. I don't know. What? I thought we did it for the tournament that never happened.
Yeah,
and then we did it for the one that did. Then we did it for last year, and then this year that'd be 4. All right. We'll see you next week for that, and we'll see you tomorrow for the watch party.
Tomorrow,
and then we'll see you for the podcast after that, and then another podcast, and then this probably, or switch it around. All right. We've all seen enough, huh? We'll be back tomorrow night, and then episode 144 later in the week. Just beat Nebraska. That's all you got to do.
Please.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down that road.
Beat Nebraska.